you all always have some wonderful questions, and we're always more than happy to answer them. So, welcome after a 3-day gap. I hope you all have not forgotten what we did last week. Yeah, last week we did chapter 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I hope you all remember that. So, what I'm going to do is, while everyone is logging in, quickly I'm going to ask you all like one line. One chapter 5 ka main key take home, chapter 6 ka key take home. Okay. Now for this, who's raising their hand? This I'm doing just as a recap. Then we'll go ahead with the prayer. Acha, who wants to take the prayer today? Please put in the chat box. I know the prayer and I want to take it. Just put it in the chat box. And then Mataji will decide who's not been given a chance. That child will be given a chance. And then other children will also be given tomorrow, day after, subsequently. Okay. So by the time you are putting the message in the chat, I'm going to unmute someone and I'm going to ask, okay, who wants to take a recap from last week and who would want to answer some questions or give me like one take home from each chapter? Like chapter 5. Do you remember what is the key take home? Anyone? Chapter 5. What is the key take home from chapter 5? Okay, I'll tell you all. It was peace formula. How can we always be at peace? By knowing that Krishna is the supreme controller, enjoyer, right? If we know that, we're always at peace. And then we did the next chapter, which was Dhyan Yoga. That was Karma Yoga. And then we did Dhyan Yoga. So when we were doing Dhyan Yoga, we discussed that Arjun said that, controlling the mind is so difficult. How is it possible to do all these Ashtang poses, control your head, sit in a posture? I can't do all that. Yeah. So that is the time when the Yuga Dharma was discussed, that all that is not meant for Kali Yuga. For Kali Yuga, all we need to do is chant the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Then in the 7th chapter was knowing about the absolute. And the Lord himself tells us everything. That I am the originator, I am the seed-giving father of everything. Yes. And then he talks about the 4 kinds of people who come to him. Someone who's distressed, who wants opulence, who is looking for knowledge. Yes. And then who is very inquisitive. Yes. So these are the kind of people. And then in the next chapter is how do we attain? So he gave information about himself, who I am. And then he tells us how you can attain me. Yes. Now I will give someone a chance. How can we attain him? Very simple. One single rule we had discussed. If we want to attain Krishna, what we want to do? Raise your hands. I can see all. Okay. I can see Sanvi up. I'm unmuting Sanvi. Yes, Sanvi. One way.
Chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Okay. Vaidehi, what do you have to say? One way to 1 minute. I'm unmuting you, Vaidehi. 1 minute. There's Vaidehi gone. Here she is. Okay. Yes, Vaidehi, one way.
Yes, sir. One way is that you should always remember Krishna and also remember Krishna in your life.
At the end of your life, if you remember Krishna, then you attain him. Okay, Mrunmai, in the next chapter, the 9th chapter that we did on Friday, the most confidential knowledge. What is the most confidential knowledge? Or what is the key take home from that chapter?
Yes, Prabhuji. If we engage our mind in thinking of Krishna, and if we worship him, we will surely go to him.
Absolutely right. And in the chapter 9, there was one simple process that Krishna himself told, how can you worship me even if you don't have
anything? By serving food.
He said the important thing, patram pushpam phalam toyam. That means with love. Into quotes, most important, with love, if you offer me a leaf, flower, fruit, or just some water, everything that has been given by Krishna, we offer that only to him. That's what he's saying. He doesn't want anything special. But in that verse, twice it is repeated, bhakt and bhaktya. That means with love. So as we had said, he's a bhavagrahi. He sees our emotions. Yes. Okay.
Prabhuji, can I tell one more?
Yes, sure. Please go ahead.
All beings are under him, but no one is but he is not about them.
Yes, so everything emanates from him, but he's not a part. And he is separate than the creation. Perfect. Very well said. Great. Okay. So now we will start chapter 10. But before that, Mataji, whom are you giving a chance today for leading the prayers?
Anish Pandey.
Okay, Anish. Hari bol. Please
Prabhuji,
go ahead with
I'm
the prayer.
actually Naman Pandey, so can I say the prayers?
Yes, Naman, go ahead and change your name so that we don't address you wrongly.
Sorry.
Hare Krishna.
Sorry.
Everyone, hands folded. Naman will lead us in prayers today. Hare Krishna.
Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप तदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतां पदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निधि नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशकारिणे नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरवुचे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांतना राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे.
Thank you so much, Naman. Thank you so much. Okay, kids. So today's chapter is chapter 10, right? And this is all about the opulence of the absolute. All right. We've done a quick recap of the last week and the last session. So I'm not going to run through this. Now, what does Krishna have to say? He starts about his opulence by saying that I am the source of all the demigods. Clear-cut statement. Krishna in 10.2 is saying, I am the source of all the demigods, right? Now, if Krishna is the source of all the demigods, then who are the demigods? You all must be wondering, no? Who are they? Who are they? Any guesses? They are like, so Krishna, if you all must be knowing of a corporate setup, a lot of your parents must be working as, say, president, associate vice president, general manager, deputy manager, production head, this head. So basically, that is what is the designation of the demigods. They are under Lord Krishna as the heads of operation of particular department, like Lord Surya. He handles the lightning aspect, right? And similarly, Lord Varuna handles something else. Agni handles heat. Yes, wind god Vayudev handles the wind. So all the demigods basically handle different key aspects of the universe. And when Krishna appeared in this world, that's when all of them came and offered their respects to him, right? Now, typically, if you see anything that we see, there is a particular creator. Like, what do you see in the top? You see a laptop, you see a jet, you see a phone. Who created these? Some human being, right? They created these. But what you see in the lower part of the screen, the flowers, the birds, peacock's feather, who created these? Someone has to create, right? Nothing can come out of nothing. There has to be a creator. If you look around you, whatever you see, there has to be a creator. Now, it is impossible that no one created these. Now, for example, if you see human beings, right? Now, people say human beings are just born. No, but how can, just imagine when a baby is inside the womb of a mother, okay, there is water all around. And the baby is breathing that same water. How can you breathe? Can you breathe underwater? If you're kept underwater for maybe 5-10 minutes, will you be able to live? No. But when we were all babies, we were in our mother's womb, we could breathe. Now, who created that system? You know, that we can breathe, we can function, And imagine, being over there for such a long time. All of this that you see has to have a creator. But there are some people and some scientists who say, no, we came from evolution. We were monkeys, we became human beings. Really? But is it logical? And of course, this theory has been proven false also. The scientists who proved this have all been proven false. Otherwise, today there would have been no monkeys. And you can really imagine a random monkey hitting upon keys and creating novels? No, that consciousness is different. So that theory that most of us may have learned, or some schools unfortunately still teach it, that where we came from, that evolution, utter rubbish. Utter rubbish. So Krishna, as he says, he's the source of everything. Everything emanates from him. It starts with Prakriti, the creation, which we've discussed already, and all the demigods who are the managers of all of this, right? And that's how Krishna is saying in 10.3, he says, I am unborn. I don't have any beginning because everything comes from me. So I am unborn. Now, kids, in this chapter 10, so I told you all, the middle 6 chapters are like the essence of Bhagavad Gita, the crux, because they are all about bhakti. Yes, so these chapters that we're currently doing are all bhakti, right? Now within this, there are these four very key shlokas, which are called the Chatur shlokas in the Bhagavad Gita. Now these 4 shlokas are said to be like the essence. कि अगर पूरा भगवद गीता नहीं समझ में आया, कोई बात नहीं. Just understand these 4 shlokas and you're fine. 10.8 to 10.11. If you understand these 4 key shlokas, you're pretty much understanding the crux. So who's going to read this out for me? 10.8. Mataji, from the ones who've raised their hand, just give them a chance. Whoever's had a chance, please put your hands down so that the others can have a chance. Who's going to read the translation?
Piya Kumar.
Piya Kumar. Great, Piya. Please go ahead. The translation of this very important verse, 10.8. Piya?
No, she's not there.
Okay, then next.
Sahasya. Right. I've unmuted
Okay,
you.
please unmute. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, read the translation of
I am the
10.8.
source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me.
Emanates from me.
The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts.
Yes. So in the Chatur Shloka, or the most important shlokas of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is starting again and he's explaining, and that's why we've highlighted those in red. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Very important, reinforced, right? So you have no doubt. First he said, I am the source of demigods. So he's further saying that the entire spiritual world and material world, everything emanates from me. And the wise perfectly know this. And when you know this, what automatically happens? Automatically you will engage in devotional service and worship Krishna, right? So this is one of the most important things that Krishna is telling us over here. Okay. Now, as we know, Krishna appeared. He's not born. Now, if you see some of these people, now to the extreme left, are they the real boss? Who's the real boss? The ones on the left, who are they? Mother, just unmute someone. Prajwal, his hand is up. Let's ask Prajwal. Prajwal, who are the ones on the left? Who are these people on the left?
Prajwal, I've unmuted you.
Prajwal, do you recognize these faces? These names? And below that, the dollar sign and what's written? Okay, Srirang, do you recognize these people? I'm unmuting Srirang. Yes, Srirang.
Prabhuji, they are all rich people.
They
Each
are
and
some of
every
the
has some
world's
of it.
richest people. But are they the boss? Do you really think they rule?
Arna wants to answer.
Arnav? Okay, give him a chance. Arnav, do you think they are the real bosses?
I'll unmute him. Yes, Arna, I've unmuted you.
Ma'am, they are not the bosses because they just have money and nothing else.
Ultimately, they are also going to die. They are going to go old,
Yep.
right? Okay. And then the ones in the middle, do you know who they are? Who's going to try and answer that? The ones in the middle, who are they?
Yes, Arna. There are
Sir, they are the presidents of China and USA.
They are the powerful presidents of powerful countries. But do they rule?
No,
No, because they also have a term. They're going to come and they're going to go, not permanent. So who's the real boss?
sir, Lord Krishna.
He is the real boss. So we need to understand that even people who have power, money, fame, the six opulences that we discussed that everyone, runs after in this world. But Krishna has all those six and to the fullest. So if someone has a little of that, they think themselves to be very powerful in this world. But even the creator, Brahma, is created by Krishna. So even Brahma came from the lotus navel of Krishna, right? From in a lotus flower. And then he meditated upon Lord Krishna, and then because he's one of the greatest devotees and a very evolved soul. So anyone can become Brahma. Do you know that? You just have to have those kind of pious credits. So if you want to become an Indra, which I told you are all designations. So like how if you want to become like a the marketing head of a particular company, you just need to work hard, but you can get to that post, right? You'll spend some time, you'll do good work, couple of years, you'll get promotion. Same way, you can get promotion and become one of these demigods. You can, but again, what will happen? It's a temporary position. It may be a long lifespan, but it's a temporary position. Okay. Now coming to the next important shloka. Who's going to read this out? Mataji, I see Rasika's hand up. I see Vedi's hand up. Any one of them?
okay. Rasika. Rasika, I've unmuted you.
Yes, Mataji. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me.
See, now what is Krishna talking about here? First, he says that the ones who surrender, who know me, and now he's describing that the pure devotees, their full life is devoted to my service. And what gives them satisfaction and bliss is when they are always discussing about me and they're enlightening one another, they're conversing about me, right? So that is what really pleases Krishna. And that is exactly what all of us are currently doing. The very fact that we're discussing about Krishna, trying to understand with our heart and soul, and then we'll be inspired to actually do some service for Krishna. That is what really is that what is going to get us to our ultimate goal. Okay, now one more thing I just remembered. Last week I said it's summer holidays. Okay, over the weekend, how many of y'all did some patram pushpam phalam toyam? Did you all make anything and offer Krishna? Quickly in the chat boxes. I just remembered, I forgot I gave you all homework. Yeah. Okay, quickly in the chat boxes, how many of you all managed to do that over the weekend? Flower. Okay, Mrunmai, good. Rian Patel says me. What did you do, Rian? Write that. Sanvi did all of it. Very nice. Okay, Hitansh offered a flower. Good. Tulsi Gopi also did everything. Okay. You know what? My humble request is you all have holidays. if you can make some preparation for Krishna, may not be something which involves extensive cooking, but make something. It could be sukha bhel, if nothing else, if you don't want to use the gas and all, sukha bhel, or just a fruit chaat or something. Just do. See, the more you do it with your heart and soul, and the more you ultimately, he's going to just purify it and give it to you, right? So try to do that. Okay, it'll really be nice. Good use of your summer holidays. Now remember, in this verse, what is Krishna saying? Who always discuss and converse about me. Now, one wonderful example in our Shastras of a devotee like this is Prahlad Maharaj. Now, Prahlad Maharaj, I'm going to tell you all a little bit about him, or most of you all may know, but I'll still just give a little thing. Prahlad Maharaj was born in the family of demons. All right. Now, his father was one of the most evil guys prevalent. Now, when he got to know, but what had happened in Prahlad Maharaj's case, when he was a child, that time only he had the blessing of hearing Narad Muni. Now, because that time his father had gone to do all kind of tapasya to acquire powers and all, his mother was going to be killed by the demigods. But then he was given protection, and when he was given protection, Narad Muni, because his mother stayed in the ashram, Narad Muni is what? He is one of the greatest devotees who's always glorifying the Lord, always talking about the Lord. So by default, Prahlad Maharaj landed up hearing about him. Now, what you hear in the womb of your mother is something that really remains with you. We've seen that in case of Abhimanyu, who knew how to get into the Chakravyuh, how to get to the epic. Only he didn't know how to get out of it, but he learned the entire thing while he was still in his mother's womb. So we know that this thing works. And here also, Prahlad Maharaj heard everything about the Lord. So he was born a devotee, naturally. Yeah. So, but he grew in the family, he was in the family of demons. But that did not deter him. He kept on doing regular chanting of the Lord's name. And as he grew, when he was sent into the Gurukul, now where they were taught how to do wrong things, he used to take his friends and sit and give them pravachan. Arey Baba, don't do like this. We're supposed to do this. We're supposed to remember the Lord. We're supposed to glorify the Lord. And when his father got to know, his father was wild. He tried everything to kill him. You all know that, right? He threw him from a cliff. He put him along with the most venomous snakes. And he put him along with his sister Holika, who had the boon of not getting burnt. But Holika got burnt. Prahlad Maharaj got saved. And then the Lord finally came as Narsingh Dev for Prahlad Maharaj only. For that one devotee, that incarnation was there. And then, of course, Prahlad Maharaj was appointed as the king after Hiranyakashipu was killed by the Lord. So, but the key is he was born devotee and he continued his preaching. In fact, he was even preaching to his father. And that's what annoyed his father so much that he just wanted to kill him. Because his father taught what? I am God. I control everything, because all the demigods were under his control. So he thought, because I can control all of them, I am immortal. I have got such boons. But he forgot that the people who give boons, like Brahma, they themselves get the power to give boons from the Lord. And thereby he was killed. Anyway, so just the glorification of the Lord, and he kept, preaching. So that is one key factor, that if we really want to be dear to him, we must remember, in whatever way we can, we should try and share, his glories, his name, his pastimes. There are so many beautiful pastimes of Vrindavan, right? You would have seen that in all your little Krishna cartoons also. They beautifully depicted those. So these, if you discuss and share this, and most importantly, just chant the Maha Mantra all the time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is what is most pleasing. Okay. Now moving on further to the next important shloka. Who will read this?
Chandrika.
Soumya. I see
Okay,
Soumya
sorry.
and Chandrika. Yeah.
Chandrika, I've unmuted in case if she doesn't, I'll unmute.
Haribol Mataji.
Yes, Chandrika.
Mataji, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Prabhuji, can I even say the shloka? I know the shloka.
You know shloka. Okay, go ahead and say it.
तेषां सततयुक्तानां Girgaum ददामि बुद्धियोगं तं येन मामयान्ति ते. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, stand by which they can come to me.
Yes. So those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love. Now, not serving just for the sake of serving. अरे करना है, अरे गुरुजी ने बोला है तो करना है, अरे मम्मी ने बोला है तो करना है. No, with love. That's the key. I give them the understanding by which they can come to me. So a lot of people, they try to hear the Bhagavad Gita, read the Bhagavad Gita, and they think they'll be able to understand it. But honestly, according to me, the understanding of Bhagavad Gita will only come from the Lord. So if he wants to make you understand, means if he sees that you're really sincere and you really want to know about him, about how he is, what he is, he will surely give you that understanding. And here he's saying it, the Lord is saying that if you constantly serve me with devotion and love, then I give you the understanding by which you come to me. And that's the ultimate aim of life. Otherwise, remember, we have 84 lakh different vehicles waiting for us. We have to just choose based on our consciousness. We will get one of those vehicles, right? So we need to remember that the understanding of Bhagavad Gita, okay, we may make notes, we may try to by heart shlokas, we may try to do all of that, but typically the understanding of that of that, or the essence of that will come only with Krishna's mercy. Otherwise it will not come. That is the key. And of course, the more time that you spend in devotee community with people who are always discussing, understanding, chanting the glories of the Lord, that will make it easier and faster. Okay, moving ahead. Okay, so one important point, further to this verse only. Who can come to him? Those who constantly are serving the Lord. Now, if you have to constantly serve the Lord, what is the best way? So that's how I've given this, a GPS. You all must be using these Google Maps, right? So what do? If we have to go somewhere and we can't find that particular location, we just Google map it and it guides us, right? So just like a GPS gets us to our particular destination over here, the one that you see on the right, what is that? Our beads on which we chant the Maha Mantra. That is what is going to help us get back home. That is what's going to really help us get back home. So we are all lost, honestly. We are all lost, bewildered souls in this material world. We're trying to enjoy in a place where we're not meant to be, because we are spiritual. We are spirit souls. We are not this material body. Chapter 2, we learned that, right? But though we are spiritual, we're trying to enjoy the material things which are temporary, but we are eternal, right? That's the reason. Remember, if we want to get back home, this is our only hope, our only GPS to get back home. So, like, we always keep our phones charged and we, never get our eyes off the GPS map when we have to reach a particular destination and fast. Same way, we should not get our hands off the chanting bag, the bead bag and the beads, and keep chanting so that we know, and it speeds up our process of getting back home. All right, moving ahead. Now, Sudama. Once I'm going to give her a couple of examples now. Now, what did Sudama do? He was a poor Brahmin, right? How did he end up getting so much of affection from Krishna? Anyone? Mataji, let's just unmute and see who can.
Riyan Pandey? Patel, sorry. I've unmuted you, Riyan.
What did Sudama do?
Sudama prayed to Lord Krishna and offered him everything with love and devotion.
Yeah, so Sudama was always in remembrance of the Lord, correct? And when he went to meet Krishna, what did he offer him? Do you remember?
Sai Shri, I've unmuted you.
Rice.
Puffed rice. And those days, people used to walk for days because he was going from what is some place in Maharashtra now to Dwarka, which is Gujarat, right? He took days to walk. And obviously, the puffed rice would not remain fresh. Plus, it was something that his wife had got in arms. And you can imagine how good it must have been to taste, right? Would you taste something which is like 5-6 days old or maybe 10 days old? No, right? But Krishna, he was so happy. So that's what I was, we did it in the last chapter, that what you offer is not important. It is the emotion, it is the love with which you offer. And that is what Sudama had. Pure love. And he was always, always in remembrance of Krishna. And because of which he got the mercy of Krishna. Right? Now, the Chatur Shloka, as I told you, 10.8 to 10.11, 4 key shlokas. If you all forget everything, just remember these 4 shlokas. Okay? Now we come to 10.11, the last of this.
Soumya.
Mataji, yes, someone can just read this out.
Soumya.
Soumya, please read this out.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance.
Beautiful. Now, again, what did we just learn? That the mercy to understand comes from him, right? And here, Krishna is just expanding on that point. That to show special mercy, I, dwelling in their heart, right? We all know that there's a Paramatma within our heart, right? He destroys all the darkness and all the ignorance with the lamp of knowledge. So just like we cannot study in a dark room, right? We need a light. Otherwise, it's impossible to study or see anything clearly. Similarly, the light of our life is the manual. That is the Bhagavad Gita. And once we switch on that light, we have to just keep it illuminated by continuously chanting and reading the Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna himself is assuring us that he will bestow that special mercy by which all the ignorance, all the doubts, whatever thing, that may arise in your heart will all be all that ignorance, because we are all actually in ignorance. Because most of us, throughout our lives, like at least me, throughout my growing up, I thought this is Vishal. I am Vishal. That used to be my answer. But not knowing that this is a temporary name, temporary designation that I have. And sooner or later, this body is just going to stay over here. Now, you kids are blessed that you all are starting so young. And in the subsequent chapters, you will understand why you all are starting so young. Krishna explains that also. That why someone is attracted towards me at a very young age. And why someone who's very old also, who's maybe towards the end of his life, is still not attracted to him. There is a reason. You'll understand in the coming chapters. So, as I told you, these 4 verses are the key. We're going to reread these 4 verses because, as I said, kids, if you didn't understand anything in the Bhagavad Gita, if you didn't remember anything in the Bhagavad Gita, no problem. These 4 verses are the key because they give you the crux of it, right? They're giving you exactly the crux. What Krishna is saying, shortcut, jise kehte hain, that is what he's saying. So we're going to read these 4 once again. Now, 4 children, Mataji, we'll give a chance so that we can just do these shlokas, very important shlokas once again.
Dhvani Kataria.
1 minute, I'm going to take it back there. Just read the English translation. Can you read the English translation?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Please go ahead.
I am the source of all spiritual and material words. Everything emanates
from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts.
Lovely. I'm going to repeat. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Okay, next.
Sai Shri, she's keen to read it.
Saishri, go ahead, please.
Thoughts of my pure are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me.
About me. Okay, the thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted in my service, to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. This is the second key thing Krishna is saying. Okay, and the next verse, Mataji,
Hitansh.
Hitansh, please go ahead.
Satatayuttanam bhajatam pritipurvatam dadami buddhiyoram tam yenamam upayanti te. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me.
Lovely. So if you're constantly devoted in serving, Lord will give you the understanding by which you can get back to him. Okay. And we know what is our GPS? The one on the right. That is what we have to use to get back. Now the last key verse. Okay.
Darsh Agarwal.
To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance.
Correct. So the mercy that comes from the Lord will help us destroy the ignorance which is prevalent. We're living in ignorance. So we're not really aware of who we are. And that's the reason we have this manual, this GPS that we have to, and it's the mercy of great acharyas like Srila Prabhupada and the entire parampara, because of whom this knowledge has come to us. And it's come to us as it is, right? What the Lord said is just because we are not scholars, we don't understand Sanskrit, it's been translated as it is for our understanding. And with this understanding, we can grow slow and steadily, but firmly in bhakti. Okay. Now moving further. Now, as I told you, this chapter is all about the opulence or lavishness of the Lord, right? So what does the Lord say further to this? The Lord says, now Arjuna said, you are the supreme personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages confirm this truth about you. And now you yourself are declaring. So it's not said earlier. The sages already are talking about Krishna. They're already saying that. Now Arjun says, please tell me in detail of your divine opulences by which you prevail in this world. Okay, in all of these words. So now, after hearing, so it's like if you get to know that something is so mysterious because you don't know so much, and if you get to know, you want to see it, right? You want to see something which is really opulent, so Arjuna has that keen desire to really see the Lord. And obviously now, because he's a pure devotee of the Lord is not going to say no to him. So the Lord then tells Arjuna that I can be seen all around. All right. But I'm going to tell you some of my key opulences. And that is just a partial list. It's not exhaustive. I'm just going to tell you a few of the key things by which you can see me all around in this world. So for the next nearly 20 verses, Krishna is just explaining to Arjuna that how you can see me, because Arjuna wants to know, Are Baba, you told me this, you told me that, but I want to know how. How are you there? What did Lord Krishna say? I am prevalent. The material and the spiritual world both come from me. Now, spiritual world, though, Arjun ne dekha nahi. So he says, material world, at least how can I see you? How can I understand you? And then Lord Krishna started to talk. He says, who all? What all does he tell? So there's a very long list, kids. So basically whatever we see around, there is divinity all around. But Krishna goes on to explain. Now he starts explaining that I am the super soul in the heart. He starts with that. That first thing where it is, I'm there in your heart only, right? And then the radiance of the sun that you see is me. It comes from me only. And then he describes that among all the Vedas, I am Samaved. And then he further says that among the demigods, I am. Any guesses? In the chat box, among the demigods, what does Krishna say? Who am I? Okay, let's play this. I'm going to say the opulence and you try and tell me what does Krishna's answer. Amongst all the demigods, not water, Indra. Tanishka said it right. Even Radhakund said it right. So Krishna says, among all the demigods, I am Indra. Okay, next, amongst the opulences, Krishna says, amongst all the mountains, I am. Come on, in the chat boxes. Amongst the mountains, I am. Come on, in the chat boxes quickly. Tanishka says Himalaya. Radhakund says Himalaya. Very right. Hitansh says Mount Everest. No. Hitansh, it is Himalaya. Mount Everest is the highest peak. That's a different thing. But yes, Lord Krishna says, amongst the mountains, I am the Himalayas. Now, Krishna says, amongst the rivers, I am. In the chat boxes, quickly, amongst the rivers, Krishna says, I am. Yamuna? No. Yes, Prajwal, Ganga. Sanvi said it right. Ganga. Absolutely. So amongst the rivers, Krishna says, I am the Ganga. Now, amongst the seasons, all the seasons that are there, Krishna says, I am dash. Which season does he say? Pia is right. It is spring season. Tanishka is also right. Sangvi is also right. Avni is also right. Very good. Very good. Most of you all know a lot. Very nice. You kids are really smart, I must say. Amazing. Amazing. Okay, so amongst the seasons, Krishna says he's spring. Okay, amongst the birds, Krishna says I am amongst the birds. Eagle, peacock. Peacock. Ah, here comes the right answer from who answered the 1 minute? I think it was Tanishka. Not peacock, 1 minute. I think it was Tanishka who gave the right answer. It was Arjun also gave the right answer. It is Garuda. I all forgot. Lord Vishnu's carrier is Garuda. So amongst the birds, I am Garuda. Yes, Mishika, right. Now, then Krishna says, amongst the trees, I am which tree amongst the trees, he says? Trees, quickly. Radhakund knows all the answers. Soumya, absolutely right. Yes. Banyan, Nanvi, absolutely right. Banyan tree, yes. Absolutely right. So among the trees, Lord Krishna says, I am the banyan tree. Among the beasts, various beasts, what does Krishna say? I am. Amongst all the beasts, Krishna says, I am.
Lion.
My God, superb. Amazing. Radha, Gopika, Manya, Darsh, very nice. Lion. So I'm sure all of you know all the 82 opulences that are there. Very nice. So I just took a few of them. So basically in the next 20 odd verses, Krishna is just describing the opulence. That this is where, because Arjuna asked, he says, what did Arjuna say? I want to see you. How do I see you around? Right? I know all the great sages have confirmed to me that you are the original person, you are the unborn, you are the greatest. But I want to see the details, I want to know the divinity of all your opulences. I want to see. And then Krishna is so merciful. Now, because now Krishna will also give in the next chapter the reason why Arjuna was told all this, right? That's the reason he got to know, and he could. Now, the next chapter is how he shows all the opulence also. You will see all of that. Now, So in the next 20 verses, as I told you, Krishna is giving in detail how he can be seen all around. Okay. Now, in the end, to summarize it, Krishna says, "O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations." It's like मैं बोल बोल के थक गया हूं बाबा, अभी हमको वॉर करना है, तो शॉर्टकट में बता रहा हूं. You know, that is what Krishna is trying to tell Arjun, that there is a lot for me to tell you, but we're at the battlefield. So please understand that there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is a mere indication of my infinite opulence. Now, when the Lord himself is saying, and we all know that there are so many incarnations of the Lord, right? So many times he's come. He's present in every atom. So if he were to describe himself, it's just not possible. And it is not even possible for us to comprehend or understand that with our limited understanding. So that is what he's telling him. Bhai, I give you a shortcut brief. Now you understood what I have spoken. It is just a mere, you can say like a spark of my infinite opulence. And then he further tells that what is the need, Arjuna, for you to know all this detail. As I told you, he wanted to give him shortcut. You have to fight. You understand the crux of what I'm trying to tell you. And as I told you earlier, Arjuna was an exalted soul. He was not an ordinary guy. All right. And he was not from Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, our strength, mental, physical, understanding, everything is diminishing. So he tells Arjuna, what is the need, Arjuna, for this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. Right? And we have seen that every living thing that we see around has a soul. And a soul means what? It's a spark of the opulence. It's the spark of the Lord, right? So with that minute fragment only, this entire world is pervading small sparks, right? So like you can say the sun, like we've given this example earlier also, the sun and the sun rays, right? Or a mighty fire and the sparks that originate from this fire. We are minute sparks. This entire creation is a minute spark. So that's why he's telling him, what is the need for you to understand all this? With a single fragment, I support this entire universe. Itna tum samajh lo. Get understanding with that. All right. So this is the crux of this particular chapter where the Lord is describing his opulence. And he says that first, I am the source of all demigods. And as I explained to you, there is a CEO, which the Lord is, and then all these operational heads, production head, marketing head, this, that, all of them are there under the Lord. And then the 4 Chatur shlokas, where the Lord is describing the crux, that how you can come to me by being constantly in my devotion, and I will give you that understanding from within. If I see sincerity, you will understand. And that is the way the Bhagavad Gita is to be understood. We cannot ratto it. We can ratto a shloka, but the understanding of that shloka will only come with his mercy. And then when Arjun says, I understand, my Lord, that all the rishis, everyone has told me about this. I want to see, I want to understand what it is. And then the Lord describes his opulences. And you all rightly said, most of them, that he's the radiance of the sun. He's Indra amongst demigods. He's Samved amongst the Veds. He's spring among the seasons. The Lord is Garuda amongst the birds, lion amongst the bees, Ganga amongst the rivers, and all these opulences that the Lord spoke about. Okay. So the bottom line, or the take home, again, why I tell you all this is that if you forget all the other details, just remember these key things. That's it. Who is the Lord? Krishna. What's his name? There are multiple names. And y'all gave me such beautiful names also that day with the meanings. Y'all did say that. So, but remember, he is the supreme person. He is all pervading, means everything that we see around, we see Lord Krishna. But Sham Sundar form is the one that we should meditate upon. Now, why the Sham Sundar form? Anyone would want to say why the Sham Sundar form? We should meditate upon that. Last week, there was some question answer which gives you an answer of this. So, Mataji, let's have a little discussion with the kids. So,
Sri
why the
Ram.
Sham Sundar form?
Sri Rang, I've unmuted you. I've unmuted you, Sri Rang. Okay.
I can't hear him, Mataji. Is he there?
Yeah, I've unmuted him.
Okay, then maybe
Anyway,
someone else.
someone else.
Yes.
Tanishka.
Because Shamsundar form has the all opulences,
It has all opulences. Okay.
all the qualities, all the 64 qualities.
Yes, absolutely right. And what other reasons? What other reason? There's one more reason that actually Shubhavilas Prabhuji gave in one of his examples. Last week, do you all remember that? Anyone remembers? Last week, Shubhavilas Prabhuji gave this beautiful example. So when someone asked Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu, so Shubhavilas Prabhuji gave this example that how a father, when he gets all ready with a coat, suit, tie, and he goes to work, that's one particular form of his. But that same father at home, so that is a form where, say, he's the boss of a company, all right, and he goes, so that's a little more formal form, right? And that is the Vishnu form, the four-handed form with the Shankar, Chakra, Gada, Padma, all of that, So that is like something that you're in awe of, you look like that and you like, you're awestruck because that's powerful, that's opulent, glamorous, all of that. But the Sham Sundar form is like, in that example, that same father when he comes home. And then with his child, how he is. Informal, loving, that it's absolutely informal and pure love. There's no awe, there's no fear, there's only love, respect, that is there. So that is the Sham Sundar form. And y'all would have heard so many of Krishna pastimes, right? And in that you see how whether it's the friends that Krishna has in Vrindavan, or the cows that are there, or the gopis that are there, what kind of a loving relationship is there. They don't have they fight with Krishna, they tease Krishna, they get onto his back, and Krishna eats their jutha. So it's pure love. So like, it's like your father, he'll eat a jutha of yours, right? But in an office, a boss will not do anything like that. So that's the difference. The loving and the caring form of a father. So that's the reason we say we should meditate on this Sham Sundar form of the Lord. Okay. Now, anyone has any questions related to today's chapter particularly? Now, there is a probability that today Shubhavilas Prabhuji will be joining us. So we'll wait for that. But in the meantime, if you all have anything that you all want to know, because this is the bottom line, this is the take home for today. And for most of the cases, and you've learned the 4 most important shlokas, which are like the summary, if you understand that, which come in the middle of the Bhagavad Gita. And they are placed also in the middle of the Bhagavad Gita. All right. Anyone has any questions related to today's chapter? I'll be more than happy to try and answer that. And in the meantime, we'll have Shubhavilas Prabhuji joining us maybe in a couple of minutes.
Pratyaksha has raised her hand. I've unmuted her.
Yeah, Pratyaksha, please go ahead.
I didn't have any doubt. I'm sorry. I just raised my hand.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, so let me ask you, Pratyaksha, over the weekend, have you been able to implement anything in terms of the Patram Pushpam or anything that you've been able to do?
Yes, there were some sweets at home. So I gave it to Krishna with tulsi and some water.
Very nice. Very nice. So that's really nice. So y'all have your holidays on right now, right? Most of y'all? Pratyaksha, do you have your holidays? So anyway, since you all have time on hand, yes, Mrunmay, go ahead.
Mrunmay. Mishika Poddar.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
Hare Krishna.
I didn't understand why we should meditate upon the Shyam Sundar form.
Okay, so Krishna has many forms, many avatars. You know that, right? And as I was giving you this example, which Shubhavilas Prabhuji gave last week, so the Lord is one. He just has different forms, right? So there is a Vishnu form, which you have seen earlier. I think in the presentation also you would have seen the four-handed form. or the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu sitting on the Sheshna. Have you seen those forms, right? So there are multiple forms. Now the difference between the forms is just that one is a more formal form, which is more opulent and more like a father who goes to an office with a coat, tie. He's very formal that time. But the same father, when he's home, that time he's informal. Because so it's like how you want to associate with the Lord. Do you want to associate with the Lord as a boss and an employee or a junior? Or do you want to associate with him in a more closer and a more loving relationship as a friend, as a parent? That kind of a rasa is if you want that kind of a bonding, then you meditate on the Shyam Sundar form, typically.
Avni wants to.
And also, Lord, in the next chapter, my dear, will be showing another form of his, which is known as Vishwaroop. Okay, you'll be seeing that in the next chapter. Tomorrow, we'll be discussing that Vishwaroop. And then you will see that, which Arjun got scared of. Let me see whether you like that form or not. Okay?
Avni now, and then comes Sri Ram.
Okay, Avni.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So I
Yes,
had
sir,
a question that, like, the Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So why did Krishna tell it in the 10th chapter? Why did he didn't tell in like 2nd or 3rd chapter? In the starting of Bhagavad Gita.
Why? Okay, now tell me something. Okay, so if you have a diamond, right? Okay, priceless. Where will you generally keep the diamond? Will you keep it in the open, or will you keep it in a nice box inside something safe?
Inside something.
Where will you keep it? Inside something safe, right? So similarly, it's like, because Krishna has packaged the Bhagavad Gita in such a way that on top and bottom, like the burger, you have the bread on top and bottom, and inside is the main patty, which is the delicious part. Similarly, bhakti, which is the key, is in the center of the Bhagavad Gita, right? And that is the reason Krishna has put the best in the middle. And within that middle also, this Chatur Shloka comes.
Yes.
Understood?
And Prabhuji, the question of the bhoga offering, my mother cooks and I just talk for it every day.
So your mother cooks, but you offer it.
Yes.
Very good. That's absolutely fine. So that's great. I understand most of you all cannot possibly, get into cooking, but that's absolutely fine. And if you do that, the very fact that you're offering is great. Okay. So now I see so many chats, and I was wondering why there are so many chats. And now I realize there's a lot of chatting happening. Okay. So what we need to do is we'll have to control this chat, because you all will be discussing things which are not related to Bhagavad Gita. You all are most welcome to, but not here. Here we are only here to understand Bhagavad Gita, and all your exchange of numbers and all you all can do elsewhere, and you all can do your chatting. But here, for this 1 hour that we're there, our focus, see, it's like, do you want to pass your exam or do you want to fail? I gave that example earlier, right? If you want to pass, then you have to be serious. And how are we going to be serious? If we're going to study throughout, not last minute. If we do last minute, then we're definitely not likely to remember much. Okay? So you're more than welcome to chat. But over here, if the questions are related to Bhagavad Gita and the chapter, it's better for you all. Okay? From tomorrow, we'll have to control the chat. All the messages will come to me. Yes, who wants to ask?
Sri Ram.
Sri Ram, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I don't want to ask. I just want to tell that daily, in the form of patram, I give tulsi leaf.
Very nice.
I have a flower plant. I give flowers from there and give. And phalam, I give bananas and apples. And patram pushpam phalam toyam, I give it daily.
Perfect. So basically, that's what Krishna said. It doesn't matter what you give, whatever is available, but the key is, do you give it with love? That is important, right? If you give it with love, that's it. That's all that Krishna is looking for. Because why? I also gave this example earlier. As a father who provides you everything, on his birthday, the very fact that you make a card and you give him, the paper is provided by him, the crayons are provided by him, but still when you give him the card, why is he so happy? Because it is your love that shows in the card. Same way, everything is given to us by Krishna. All that we see around is all provided by him. So the very fact that we're offering the same flower that he's given is no big deal. But because we're doing it with love, it's offered. So Harsh Patil has put this question: do trees have a soul? Yes, they do. It's just that their consciousness is the lowest. They have a soul. All right. And our scriptures have given so many examples of that. Maybe one or two I will take in the coming few sessions when we discuss the 84 lakh species. There's in the coming couple of chapters, I'll be telling you the 84 lakh vehicles that I told you that we can take. I will be going a little more into the details of that. And that's when you will come to know. So trees do have a soul. Harsh, your question answered, I hope. Yes. Anyone else?
Prabhuji, from where we can get?
Anyone else has any other question?
Kanishka.
Sorry, someone was trying to say something.
Prabhuji, I was telling that from where we can get that book of Shubha Vilas Prabhuji, that Ramayana for kids, that one.
Yes, it's available on Amazon. Ramayana for kids as well as the Panchatantra. Amazon, just go to Amazon and you type in Ramayana by Shubha Vilas Prabhuji, you'll get it. Or just type in Ramayana for kids, you will definitely get it. It's one of the best sellers. It's currently selling really well on Amazon. So you can get it over there. Okay. Who else has any questions? Mataji, please. Because we're just waiting in case Shubhalas Prabhuji can log in. Great. Otherwise, then tomorrow or day after, he'll definitely come. So don't worry, kids. If you have questions, keep a note. If you want to ask me something, you're more than welcome. But if you have some other questions, Shubhalas Prabhuji will be joining.
He's already here.
He's here. Great. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandvat. Mataji, if Shubhalas Prabhuji is here.
I can't see him, Prabhuji. Can you?
No, even I'm trying to see. Charita Mataji just said that he's already
Yes,
here.
yes, he's there. I'll just make him the
Please.
host.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so very much. So kids, we are so lucky and happy to have Shubhalas Prabhuji. Let's welcome him while loudly chanting 3 times. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol,
Hari Bol.
Now over to Shubhalas Prabhuji with all the questions that you'll have.
I'm very, very happy to be with all of you once again. So happy to see you all. Hare Krishna.
So kids, your questions. Mataji, if you can just, the kids with their questions. Now raise your hands, kids, and then we'll give you all a chance to ask.
There are 9 people who have raised hands already.
Okay. So Mataji, are you unmuting them or should I? Lekha Mataji? Okay, I'm going to just unmute. 1 minute, huh? So the first one is Hitansh. I'm giving you a chance. I'm unmuting you, Hitansh. Go ahead.
Prabhuji?
Yes, Hitansh, go ahead.
What happened?
You have a question. You've raised your hand, Hitansh.
Yes. I have a
Go
doubt.
ahead.
Actually, it is said that in Mahabharata, Ashwathama was immortal. So is he really alive now?
Yes, he is very much there. Many people in India, they have seen him in some village in Bihar.
Okay.
He is about a few thousand years old. He's still there, very much. He is one of the Chiranjeevis. Chiranjeevi means these are people who never die. So Ashwathama is one of them.
Okay. Next, I'm going to give Varun Avni a chance, and I'm unmuting you all. Srirang, I've unmuted you. You can go ahead. After Srirang is Varun. Please speak in that order only, okay? Srirang, go ahead with your question, dear.
But unmute yourself.
Okay, then Varun, you can go ahead. I've unmuted you.
Hello.
Yes,
Varun,
Varun.
go ahead.
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I wanted to ask, is there something really going to be like a pralay? I mean, some Prabhuji came and he told in the class that the after 4 lakh years there will be some pralay and it will be Satyug. He told like that, sir. So is it going to
Yeah.
be?
Varun, why you have to bother about it? Yeah, you will not be here that time. That is like 4,32,000 years later. Why you are bothered now?
Yes, sir. I was just asking.
See what happens after your lifetime. You're not bothered now. Let pralay come, let
Yes.
corona come, let whatever come. So
Yes,
yes,
sir.
it will be
Arnav, you're
definitely
next.
happen, but you will be in the spiritual world by that time, and there
Yes,
from
sir.
there you will not be affected. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Arnav, go
Sir,
ahead.
I had a question. Like,
Yes, Arnav.
I remember you explained it to us that everyone has like a creator, but then who is the creator of Lord Krishna?
If there is a creator of Krishna, that person is God. He's the creator.
Yeah, but then who is the creator of the God?
See, at one point everything stops. Beyond that, there is nothing. So that's a question that nobody has an answer to. So if you find that somebody has created God, that person is God, right? Obviously. So at some point the cycle stops. Okay.
Thank
Arnav?
you, sir.
Okay, Tanishka, you can go next. Tanishka.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam. I have a
Yes.
question that we don't eat onion and garlic, but why shouldn't we eat onion and garlic?
Okay. See.
Somebody asked me as a
Okay.
question.
Yeah, I'll explain, okay? Do you like being lazy? Do you like to sleep a lot and not do any work? Or do you like to be active and do a lot of work and do a lot of study and a lot of play and very, very active? What do you like?
I like to be active.
You like to be active, right? So, onion and garlic, it actually pushes us towards tama and raja. Tamagun is, so I'll tell you how it is. Anything that is addictive, it pushes us towards tama. Tamagun is very good for lot of sleep. It's very good for being lazy. So if somebody likes a very lazy life, if somebody likes a very boring life, then there are some foods that are recommended for it, basically. So onion garlic falls under the category of tama and raja. It can either make you very lazy, or it can make you overactive so much that you crave for it. You can't live without it. Like I know so many people who without onion garlic they just can't eat only, and every day they need it. It just creates a craving in the heart. So if anything controls your mind, it means that is more powerful than your own intelligence. So we should avoid those things that take over our intelligence, that control us. So anything that is addictive, we avoid it. So onion garlic falls on that category of tamas, and it falls on the category of addictive. Yes, it has a lot of medicinal properties. That is why onion garlic is recommended in many Ayurvedic medicines also. But do you take medicine every day? Do you take medicine as your food? I mean, I love medicine. I keep eating medicine. No, right? You only take as a medicine. So onion garlic, if it has medicinal properties, it should be taken like a medicine. But don't make it a food. If you make it a food, it will push you towards tamas. Okay?
Okay.
That's the reason. Make sense?
Great. Avni, you're next.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, then with Pranam.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I had a question that like soul is Satchidananda. So when we suffer, does the soul
Avni, I've lost you.
I think what she's trying to say is that the soul is Satchit Ananda. So when we suffer, does the soul suffer? I think that's what we've lost her, but I think that's the question.
Okay. So the answer is, I got your question, Avni. I think your question is, when we suffer, does the soul suffer? Though it is Satchidananda. Is that a question? Correct, na? Avni?
I think she's had some network problem. That is the question, Prabhuji. Yes.
Okay. I'll go ahead. So the soul is beyond the body. Though it is inside the body, it is not really controlled by the body. But when the soul identifies too much with the body, then it also suffers along with the body. That's why, so it's like this, the soul is like the software. Rather, it's the inner substance, and the body is the hardware. So sometimes when the software is not working, the hardware also, rather the hardware is not working, the software also has problems, right?
Yes.
So therefore, the soul technically should not be suffering, but because it identifies too much with the body, it experiences pain, it experiences suffering. So the more we disconnect from the bodily connections, the more freedom we will experience. And also, the more we are convinced that we are the soul and not the physical body, lesser we will experience suffering. Just like in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Prahlad Maharaj was, his father tried to kill him, right? His father tried to trouble him so much. But because Prahlad Maharaj is on the platform of the soul, though externally there was so much suffering, he was not affected by it. Yes, Avni.
Okay, Prajwal, you're next. Prajwal, I've unmuted
Prabhuji,
you.
I had one more question.
Can we take other questions first and then come back to you?
Okay, Prabhuji, sure.
Okay, Radha, I'm unmuting you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam. I had a question.
Yes. You're muted. Radha, you're muted.
Okay, so Prabhuji, why do we do Dhanvat Pranam by lying on the floor?
Why we do Dandavat Pranam lying on the floor?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the meaning of it?
See, first thing is, it is a good exercise. If you're standing all the time and sitting, but if you bend and lie down like flat like that, it's a good exercise. Even from Surya Namaskar, you know Surya Namaskar?
Yeah.
One of the things we do in Surya Namaskar is Dandavat, right? We are lying flat. That is one of the steps. So it actually is good for blood circulation. That is one, on a practical level. But on a spiritual level, it is like this. Dandavat actually means that we are offering all parts of our body, right from top till the bottom, to the Lord. So how do you offer the whole body to the Lord? We offer the entire body by offering obeisances to the Lord. And when we bend down in front of somebody, it means that we are also offering our ego. See, our ego is so powerful that we don't want to bend in front of anyone, right?
Yeah.
And even in front of our parents, we won't bend. But when we actually voluntarily bend in front of Krishna, we are offering everything, our whole body, including our ego, to Krishna. That's what it means.
Okay.
Okay, Pratyaksha.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have a question. In Mahabharata, Krishna taught Arjuna and solved his doubts. But why did he not at the same time taught Duryodhana and everyone? Because they could also get liberated and got a lesson from their what mistakes they have done.
So Krishna tried several times talking to Duryodhana, Karna, etc. If you know the story of Krishna going to Hastinapur as a Shanti Doot, he went as a peace messenger, on behalf of the Pandavas. And when he went as a peace messenger, Krishna actually gave a lot of knowledge to Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra and everybody there. But Duryodhana was a very difficult person. He said, I know what dharma is, but I won't follow it. He says, I know what adharma is, but I'll follow that only. So see, how do you help a person who doesn't want to hear, right? So unless you want to hear, you can't help the person, right? So it's not that Krishna didn't try. He tried many times, but because they were just not willing to hear, Krishna is not a tough teacher, right? He's a teacher who is very kind. He doesn't force students to hear him, listen to him, follow him. He gives them a lot of space. He gives them a lot of freedom. If they like to hear him, then he will share. He has a lot of knowledge to share. But if somebody doesn't want to hear, he doesn't force. That's why. Okay.
Okay, last two questions. One is Bhargavi and Mrunmai. Bhargavi, I've unmuted you, and then Mrunmai next.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I had a question that when someone passes away, and if it is our loved ones, then do the soul protects us and is around us, or with Lord Krishna only in the heavens?
Thank you for the question, Bhargavi. It's a very beautiful question. See, in the Vedic culture, there is something known as Pitra. Pitras are ancestors. Ancestors are a very powerful part of our life. Whoever we are is based on who our ancestors are, right? All our intelligence, all our abilities, the way we look, everything is the blessings of our ancestors. And therefore, in the Vedic culture, it is very highly recommended that we take shelter of ancestors. Not only in Vedic culture, if you actually study in every culture, even Western culture, there is a very powerful understanding of how family and your connections with your previous ancestors is very important. Now, these are powerful personalities. Some of them are liberated souls who are in the spiritual world, and some of them are not in the spiritual world, but they are in powerful positions in the material world itself. Now, depending on your connection with them, see, you have to revive that connection. The connection is not automatic just because you're born in that family. You have to actually pray. You have to, connect with them in some way. Then they will actually be a part of your life. So the most important way you can connect with your ancestors is by being grateful to your parents, because they are the ones who are your direct connection with your ancestors, right? So if you serve your parents, take care of your parents, express gratitude to your parents and your grandparents, that is your connection to your ancestors. So those who are not there, you can't see, but those who are there, you can definitely see. The more you show gratitude towards your immediate parents and ancestors and grandparents, you will actually have blessings from the higher ones. Okay, Bhargavi?
Okay, the last question for the day, because we're short of time, that's Mrunmai.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
I didn't got that. Why is chanting really important? And if we don't do it, what will happen?
Why is chanting important? Okay.
Amazing.
Chanting is important simply because, tell me one thing, Mrinmayi, is that the way your name is called? Mrinmayi?
Yes.
So do you like your parents calling your name again and again? Mrinmayi, come here. Your pet name also?
Yes.
So do you like if somebody calls you by your name?
Yes.
And do you like if somebody calls you all day long by your name? You like the sound of your name, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with Krishna. If you call him by his name, he loves it. So we want to develop our connection with Krishna. So the easiest way to develop our connection is keep calling him. And if you don't chant, nothing happens. Don't worry. Krishna is not a angry and sadist God. He's waiting to punish you if you don't chant. But if you chant, he will love you more. And he will, because if you chant, he'll obviously listen to you, right? You're calling him Krishna, Krishna. He's obviously going to listen to you. If anybody is called by their name, they will be very attentive and they'll listen. That's it. That's what we get by chanting. Krishna becomes attentive to us.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so very much, Prabhuji. As always, the kids have many more questions, but we have a shortage of time. So thank you so much. And kids, don't worry. Shubhavilas Prabhuji is extremely kind. He's going to keep coming back and he's going to interact and
that's
answer
very
your
much
questions.
wanted. Shubhavilas Prabhu, you have to come once more for the children.
Yes, 100%. Next week. For sure.
So thank you so much, Prabhuji. And once again, kids, all of you all,
Hare
Prabhuji
Krishna.
can see you all, put your hands up, and we have to thank Prabhuji by loudly chanting 3 times.
Haribol, thank you.
Haribol, Haribol,
Hari.
Haribol. And thank you so much, kids, for joining in. We meet tomorrow, 5 p.m. for the next chapter, which is where Krishna will actually show his roop. Okay, because now he spoke about the opulence. And tomorrow Krishna will say, can I see that, please? And let's see what Arjun sees tomorrow. Okay? Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. Thank you so much.